Kenny was the kind of boy that was just rambunctious and wanted to always poking the boy beside him with his elbow or pulling the girl's pigtails in front of him and always causing a disruption. And so we were trying to settle the crowd down and get ready for this clown that was coming in. And Kenny just wouldn't settle down. So I said, "Come on, Kenny, let's go for a walk." And I reached down and took his hand and started out the door and down the path. And we walked down the pathway through the woods and found a log to sit on. And I said to him, I thought to myself, now what would my mother say to me? And then it came to me, and I said, "Kenny, what would Jesus want you to do? Is this the way Jesus would want you to act?" And I'll never forget his response. He looked up at me and he said, "Who's Jesus?" And just as simple as an honest child could be. And I realized that at that point this child had never heard of Jesus. And so in the next few minutes I realized I had to put the life ministry of Jesus into words that a child could understand and tell it to him in about 3 or 4 minutes, because that's all the attention span that Kenny had. So I started off by telling him that Jesus was a man that lived many years ago and that he tried to teach people better ways to live and treat each other with kindness and love. And the people didn't understand him, and instead they hung him on a cross where he died. But the nice thing about it is that Jesus came back to life again, and that he lives with us today in our hearts. And Kenny listened to me for a while, and then he said, "Well, if he's alive, can we talk to him?" And I said, "Yes, Kenny, we call that prayer." And Kenny said, "Can we do it now?" And I said, "Yes, Kenny." I said, "What would you like to ask Jesus?" And Kenny thought for a minute, and he said, "I'd like to ask Jesus to turn my life around." And so I wrapped my arms around Kenny there on that log, and we prayed to Jesus to turn Kenny's life around. And afterwards we sat there, and the camp cat was following us down the trail, and it jumped up into Kenny's lap, and he sat there stroking the cat for a while as we sat in silence. And then I got up and took his hand, and we started walking back to join the rest of the group again. And halfway back, Kenny stopped me, and he looked up at me, and he said, "I got a funny feeling in here." "It's a funny feeling," he said. "I got a funny feeling in here." And I said, "Yes, Kenny, I know. I have it too." And the rest of the camp, Kenny was still the rambunctious boy that he always was, but there was something different about Kenny, and every now and then our eyes would meet, and we would remember that moment on the trail.
I was 12 before, I was 7 before, and there's always that one person who was able to give me their best shot, and in return, I come right back in and just say, "Hey, you know what, you've been a great person to me." And that helped me figure out how I would help these children and how I would be able to deal with that child who may be challenging me a lot, who may be a bit stubborn. But at the end of the day, it's always a satisfaction for me to say, "You know what, I had fun. I didn't stress out, I had a great time."
They may have gone through a lot, but they have people who are there for them. They might not be blood related, they might be perfect strangers, but people care. And if you can give someone a smile. Actually, I heard on the radio a while back, you can change someone's day just by smiling at them, even if it's fake. And I've tried that several times, just walking into grocery stores, you see that miserable person and you just smile at them and they smile back. And I hope it makes their day better. And so I hope that hanging out with my camper and with the other campers and just seeing the way they smile and light up and want to give you a hug and they're so happy to be around you, I hope they can remember it forever.
6 years ago when I went to Camp Opportunity helped me realize that I wasn't just somebody out on like an outlier. I was an actual child, and that helped me realize that I can go somewhere in my life. So in the last 2 weeks when I graduated, I've decided that I want to go to Phoenix for respiratory therapy and be able to help other children the way my parents were able to help me by adopting me.
These kinds of stories happen all the time at Camp Opportunity. It's where we try to reach the children, and if not make a complete turnaround to change their lives, at least we plant a seed that we can break this cycle of child abuse, and that these children can grow up to become productive citizens and healthy members of our society. It's an effort that a whole community makes to bring about this camp together. It takes a lot of effort on everyone's part. It doesn't just happen all on its own. It takes a lot of effort from the mentors that we hire. We run the camp one-on-one, and we hire mentors to come work for us. They are paid nothing. They are strictly a volunteer organization. They are paid nothing. They volunteer. And so the whole community is involved. Churches and private individuals are donating money to the camp just out of the goodness of their hearts, because they want to be a part of this kind of ministry to reach these children and help break the cycle of child abuse.
It's a powerful experience to watch them change from someone who won't talk at all to someone who will express themselves and is happy to be there and who loves you. To be loved and loved is the greatest thing that you can have in life, you know, and I love it. And it's a wonderful experience. It's so rewarding to be here to help those children. I wouldn't give it up. I love these opportunities to be here.
Another goal of ours here at the camp is to teach the kids, or let them have an opportunity to understand what a healthy relationship with an adult is. Many times the cycle of abuse is continued from generation to generation because the child never has the opportunity to experience what a healthy relationship with an adult is. So they can come here and have a healthy, happy, stress-free relationship with an adult that can continue on after camp, that doesn't offer any of the negativity that they're used to or have had in their past. And so it's an opportunity for us to engage in breaking that cycle for the child and showing them that there is life beyond that, and they don't have to continue in that what they've been subjected to previously. So that's just a wonderful way that we also discuss that with our mentors before camp starts, so they have the opportunity to realize what an impact they're making on these kids.
And you can be part of this effort as well. It takes a whole community to put on a camp opportunity. The mentors that come are young people that volunteer their time, and people are donating money to help put this camp on together. I remember one story where a small girl, she was only about 12 years old, and she wanted to come to camp and help, but she was too young to be a mentor, and so she saved up her money and gave me $25 to help out with camp at church one Sunday. Another little old lady that was at our congregation, just subsistence living, she came to me one day very seriously and said that she wanted to help out with camp opportunity, and she wrote me out a check for $15 and handed it to me, and every little bit helps. It's a chance for everyone to share in the way that they can to make camp opportunity a success and to reach these little children for Christ.